So my portion of the sample portfolio is about paper folding, and I've been making these for our adjuncts as part of Adjunct Appreciation Day, and these little folded hearts, if you open them up, there's a little message inside. I heart math and you do too, you know, stuff like that. So this is the doing portion of my paper folding experiment here. And the first thing that I ran across when I went to go make one of these was that the instructions online said I needed a piece of paper that was in the proportions of 1 to 4, so 1 unit tall and 4 units wide. And that made me kind of grumpy because I didn't really want to go measure anything. I wanted to just launch into stuff. So what I did was I took a 8.5 by 11 piece of regular paper and I folded the corner up and made a triangle, and then there was this extra part hanging off. And I'm actually just using the part that hangs off. I can use that other square for something else later on. So to make those hearts, we end up doing a whole lot of folds that are very geometric in nature, as you might guess. I make a bunch of rectangles to start with. I fold the thing in half, and then I start folding the ends into the center. The secret is like really nice creases, so I get something that's folded like this. And then I'm going to fold these edges into the center again. And so I get something that looks a little bit like a book. And when I open it up, I have all of these. Ta-da! So, geometrically speaking, we have a whole lot of parallel lines and congruent rectangles going on. Because of the nature of this creation, it's very symmetric. So when I saw that this was going to take a 7.5-minute video to figure out how to do this, I was a little disturbed until I realized that the symmetry cuts things in half. Symmetry is our friend. So then I keep going. You can look up official instructions later, but I have to start folding things in toward the center. If you use regular or like the special origami paper to do this instead of regular printer paper, usually one side is printed or has a color to it and the other side is white, and that will make all of your mistakes show up. So printer paper that's the same color on both sides is really handy. So I end up making this thing that has a large rectangle in the center and then 2 rectangles hanging off the end. You can kind of see it's got a little bit of height to it. And it only takes about 1,000 of these before you remember the instructions. And that's another thing I'd like to do sometime, like time myself. How long does it take me to make a new paper folding project the first time, and then time myself on the second time, and time myself on the third time, and see what that all plotted looks like if I do it over and over again. I end up making these funny little indents. I'm trying to make something that folds downward, and those little indents actually help me out with that a little bit. Those were not in the official instructions. Those are Nicole instructions. And because I make this on one edge, I need to go make it on the other edge as well. So it's that symmetry coming into play again. So now we have this thing. Ta-da! I have parallel lines, I have things that look kind of like arrows, I have triangles, I even have some trapezoids in there if we look close enough. And now I think some more folding occurs. Fold these edges in like this, or back as the case might be. And then I have to start making the edges of the heart. So this is where, if I flip it over, this is where the note is going to go, and then I have to make these 2 rectangles out here look like the edges of the heart. And those can be the top of the heart, but I'm going to fold those over one more time to make it a little bit flatter up there, more heart-like. So now you're starting to see the top of the heart. I need to make it so that this comes inward to make the edges of the heart. So if I fold the edge up like this one, then I'm starting to get the downward slope to the point of the heart. Gotta do the same thing over here. And now you can see the 2 halves of the heart. You can start to see how it's going to go together. This next part is a little bit tricky to do, to try to get this to fold like it's supposed to, and so I almost think this is only pseudo origami, just because I think that it should be more precise for instructions, but you kind of just mangle this. Like, oh yeah, there's the center, and then kind of finagle or mangle a way to get the center to line up with that, and then you just kind of push it, make it happen. Seems like it should be more precise if you ask me. And then you do the same thing for the other side. Ooh, that one was coming outward. Nobody wants it. I had it folded like this, like it was going to be in this outward on the heart. We want it to go inward, so the other direction. It's going great. Everything is going great. So now, I think, when it is all folded up and pressed, I had to press it a bunch, then we can open it up and we can put a note in there, and then we can fold it back up. And now you know that if you have to do this for a whole class of second graders, you probably don't want to do that. Better to round up something from the store or just cut out plain old paper hearts. But anyway, a little bit of paper folding on my end of things. If we were to unwrap it and unfold all of this, we would be able to see all of the shapes that are involved. It's now all unraveled, but it still has beautiful symmetry, although it does look like a piece of recycling now. All right, you go forth, do your own paper folding. Ta-da!